What do you make of this proposal?
Well, I think it's a necessary proposal at this time, given extant realities. The jihadis are on the march through Burkina Faso, Niger, Chad, even down to Cameroon through the instrumentality of Boko Haram. They are carrying out, conducting attacks, kidnappings, bombings, Mali, Mauritania. They are very active in the entire region. So this is a necessary and a logical response to the growing threat of jihad within the whole region.
But there's already a multinational joint force, on ground around the Chad, Niger, and Nigeria, border area. Is this force meant to complement what they're doing at the moment, or the ECOWAS leaders feel that they're not effective enough?
Well, no, it's not a question of effectiveness. These instruments of coercion, they have their various jurisdictions. That's the boundaries which they operate in. For example, the MNJTF runs operation in the Lake Chad Basin area, which covers 3 countries: Nigeria, Chad, Cameroon, and a part of Niger. Also, that's southern Niger. And that force is currently, engaged in a fierce battle with ISWAP. That's the Islamic State of West Africa. That is based in that region. And it's having a lot of problems trying to bring that region under security control. So it is logical that the entire, because this jihadi problem spreads through the entire Sahelian zone. So it's not only in the Lake Chad Basin area, which is far east. So you have the whole of the far west, or the whole of the region from the middle all the way to Mauritania to cover. So I think it's a logical response to a growing security threat. And it will be quite irresponsible. For example, we have a lot of players in that region right now. Even some of the governments have taken to bringing in mercenaries, bringing in certain countries to come help them combat jihadis. The U.S. Central African Command is very active in that region, even though the U.S. is drawing down its contribution in the area by its forces in the area by up to 25%. So you have diminishing resources. You have countries taking on initiatives of their own to bring in some, let's say, Russians to come in. There were ZEC trainers there recently conducting a training in Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso is becoming a very big hotbed of militancy because with the French doing a lot of operations in Mali, they are chasing the jihadis out of Mali, and of course, they're going into Burkina Faso. And that's why we are seeing a lot of attacks in Burkina Faso.
Now, I know that this is just a proposal for now, but do you get a sense that the ECOWAS leaders feel that there's a sense of urgency and that perhaps this is something that needs to be expedited or just speedily looked into, put together, and then put to work?
Exactly. The problem is accelerating. The number of attacks this year alone is so much. The other day, in a village called Bargo in Burkina Faso, they went in where some young Muslim boys were praying and kidnapped them from a school. And school attacks have become very rife. They kill teachers, workers, students. They, do all kinds of crazy things in that whole region. So it is an existential threat, and it's not something that should take too much time to respond to, because, and it's only by combining regional resources that they can do it, because standing alone as individual countries, these countries are a little weaker. But if they combine regional resources, first they'll have more resources at their disposal to combat the threat, and secondly, they can share intelligence, they can share training, and because the jihadis tend to go across borders, these porous borders, quite a bit, it is easier to interdict them if there is a regional effort ongoing.
Okay, Ona, let's bring this back home now, talking about the state of security here in Nigeria. Now, President Muhammadu Buhari has met with security chiefs, as a matter of fact, twice now in about 48 or just over 48 hours. And, he expressed his concerns to them over the spate of kidnappings and insecurity in the country. But then they reassured him that one of the chiefs did say, as quoted as saying that the spate of kidnappings has actually significantly reduced. But President Buhari still, insisted that they make the country more secure. What is your perspective on that?
Well, I think perhaps the statistics should speak for itself, even though there are no official government statistics being released at this time. But there is anecdotal data which says that if you travel along the Kaduna-Abuja highway, you are likely to be kidnapped. Now, if it is so bad that a major highway like Kaduna-Abuja is not safe, despite all assurances from the authorities that there's a lot of law enforcement and, in fact, in some cases, military resources being deployed in that region, then I think that tells a lot of stories. Now, please just get what I'm saying. In the absence of official statistics, anecdotal data will provide the kind of information we want. So I think the president's concern is very well borne out. I think saying that kidnapping has reduced in Nigeria is quite deceptive. I don't think that's true. Any and everybody knows that. It's not. I read the news every day and I see what's happening on a daily basis. And of course, what gets in the news is only a very small sliver of what is actually happening. What is happening in the larger society is greater out there. So I think the president is spot on in calling his security chiefs in to perhaps strategize. And I think they really ought to join hands with Mr. President to see how to solve the problem, because you certainly don't expect the president to leave Aso Rock and go and run patrols on the street trying to interdict kidnappers. That is the job of the security officials, and they should do their job properly, or perhaps they show the way out.
Ona, thank you so much for that insight. We appreciate your time for joining us all the way from the U.S. Ona Ekhomu, President, Association of Industrial Security and Safety Operators of Nigeria.